Hey Mom, today we're going to Dolbadarn, and as you can see, there is your hooligan grandson running across in front of the castle. The castle is located in North Wales, not far from Carnarvon, in Llanberis, and it guards the pass in Snowdonia there. It's a beautiful, beautiful sight.
My mom loves Wales, and we've taken her there a lot, but she can't go anymore, so now we're bringing Wales to her.
In this video, Mom, you're going to see a lot of time lapses where you can see the weather coming and going. We spent a lot of time, various times at this castle, probably as much as any place we visited in Wales.
And we've experienced pretty much every kind of weather too.
Yes, so you can see in these time lapses as the rain blows in and then the sun comes out. Sometimes it's sunny while it's raining, but it's pretty indicative of what you experience there. In addition, the progression of the video is sort of, we're at Dinorwic, the quarry across the valley in these early shots, looking down on the castle. And then we're going to go and we generally park in the parking lot. There's a big parking lot across. And the walk up to the castle from there you're familiar with, and it crosses a little stream and has a beautiful little walk through some trees. You can see off to the right in that. And then we're going to pay attention to the dry stone walls that were the fortifications around the round tower. We'll go into the tower itself, and then we're going to go explore kind of the hill across the way. So that's the progression of the video. I'll let Sarah tell you more about it.
Well, as you can see, these drone shots really get you a good picture of how much larger the castle was than just this tower in the past. These are the dry stone walls out here around, all fallen down now. There were many more towers and rooms than the single tower we see today.
I love this little river. Someday I'm going to go swim. There's a big swimming hole off to the right of this bridge. We saw some people who were just getting out of it the last time we were there, I think. There's a little bit of a climb. There you are, Mom. You'll see clips of yourself in various different attire on different days with different grandchildren.
We are at Dolbadarn. In Welsh, just for your information, the emphasis is usually on the second to the last syllable. So in English, I would say Dolbadarn, and they still say Dolbadarn. Anyway, this castle was built by Llywelyn Fawr, Llywelyn ap Iorwerth, who built it as a fort to guard the Llanberis Pass, and it sits little here, as we see as we progress along, between two lakes and close to the herding pastures for cattle and sheep, which were so important for his wealth. They may be wet now in this rain, but the reason why these walls have fallen down so badly compared to the keep is that they're dry stone walls, meaning that they were built with little or no mortar. Really? None so far.
These are the stonemasons who are chipping some of the mortar that was put in those dry stone walls more recently. And they're chipping it out to try to kind of restore the nature of the dry stone walls. See Mom kiss Dad there?
This is the round tower, the keep. It was built in the 1230s. One of the finest examples of a Welsh round tower in Wales.
I want you to note in that, see, it wasn't raining that hard when we were there. That was 2012.
So, quick rundown on the relations between the brothers, sons of Griffith, the eldest and illegitimate son of Llywelyn Fawr. So, trying to make a long story short, Griffith
was imprisoned in the Tower of London starting in 1240. 1244, he climbs out of his window and falls to his death because the rope that he was climbing on broke. With that, the ruler of Wales at the time, Dafydd, Llywelyn Far's second son, but only legitimate son, started his war again with the Normans. Owain Gach, Griffith's eldest son, was imprisoned with him in the Tower of London, and he is freed. Llywelyn, meanwhile, has spent the last 4 years living with his uncle Dafydd as his right-hand man, and takes over with Dafydd in this war. Dafydd dies unexpectedly in 1246, and once again Llywelyn's there. Owain hastily makes his way to Wales, and apparently Gwynedd was split fairly amicably between them. Dafydd, at this time, is only 8 years old. When he comes of age at 14, he comes to Wales, essentially for the first time, practically since he was born, and asks for land, for his fair share. Llywelyn says no. Owain gives him some land, and by 1255, Owain and Dafydd have plotted together, and they attack Llywelyn, and that's the Battle of Bryn Derwyn in 1255. Llywelyn wins, imprisons them both. A year later, he releases Dafydd, who's 15, 16, and he leaves Owain here, however, and Owain stays here until 1277, when the Treaty of Aberconwy releases him. Dafydd, meanwhile, proceeds to work with Llywelyn until 1263, when he inexplicably defects just at the height of Llywelyn's supremacy. By 1267, Llywelyn is acknowledged by King Henry and his son Edward as the Prince of Wales. But one part of that treaty is that Llywelyn has to take Dafydd back, which he does, in order to be acknowledged as Prince of Wales. Fast forward again, 1274, Dafydd conspires with some other Welshmen and a Marcher Lord to murder Llywelyn. The plot fails due to a snowstorm, and Dafydd flees again for England and Edward, who is by now the King of England. 1277, the first Welsh war against Llywelyn on Edward's part, and Dafydd is with Edward in this victory over Llywelyn. Treaty of 1277 requires that Llywelyn not only release his brother Owain, he's been keeping here at Dolbadarn all these years, but once again that he takes Dafydd back. Dafydd apparently lives peaceably with Llywelyn for the next 5 years until 1282, when instead of rebelling against Llywelyn, he rebels against Edward and starts the final war with the attack at Hawarden Castle in 1282.
So just to say, so that was in 2012. I didn't speak Welsh yet then. A few corrections in the spelling would be like Llywelyn or Owain. I sort of went back and forth between saying Owain and Owain, and the Battle of Bryn Derwyn.
I checked, this is locked, bolted.
By the time we came back in 2016, I think they had opened up that stairway so we could go to the top.
This top floor in the keep was possibly the room of Owain Gach, Llywelyn ap Griffith's eldest brother, whom he imprisoned in here from 1255 after the Battle of Bryn Derwyn to 1277 when the Treaty of Aberconwy with Edward released him.
It's hard to appreciate how tiny and steep these stairs are.
Yeah, so we were trying to remember if, when you get up here to the very top, you can see this cage they've built around it, protective cage, so you can't fall. And trying to remember if that was there in 2012 when we were there the first time, or whether they built it. It was that the high point was closed because they were working on it in 2014.
I'm sitting here on the step again. Was here 2 years ago in the rain. I thought it was pouring rain. My husband says it was misting heavily.
There you are in that top window. You can see how high up you are. Nice smile from Taryn there. Yeah, so you can see that cage on top of the tower in this drone shot, but also you can see the hill behind it, and we're going to go over and walk on the hill in the shots that follow up here, looking at the tower through the trees from over there.
Yeah, so full disclosures, this hill probably would have been cleared of trees in the medieval period because they wouldn't have wanted it to, the tree invaders could have hidden their approach if there were trees on this hill. They probably would have wanted them for firewood anyway. There are remains of something that could have been part of a watchtower here on the top, because this top of this hill is actually higher than the top of Dolbadarn.
Yeah, it's a really pretty spot. So many of these groves are just gorgeous. Actually, grazing the area with sheep, once the trees are established, makes it very park-like. What a beautiful, beautiful spot.
One of our favorite places.
And you can hear Taryn, he has a thing of Tic Tacs in his fanny pack that rattled everywhere he went on that trip. One last view back.
I have to get video of you taking the picture.
6 of them.
Are you done? Yay!
So I hope you enjoyed seeing Dolbadarn, Mom.
Well, when I was 29 years old and clambering over the Rocky Mountains with you in a backpack, I would never have thought I would be doing this at age 75.
Yeah.
So tell me, are we going to climb anything that's more challenging than this?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, I guess we don't have to worry.